Hi, my name is Piotr Kwiatkowski, and I'd like to introduce you to Hearthland today. Hearthland means home to many animals. They all live side by side and share the resources of the Hearthland Forest. Hearthland is a quick-to-learn family game. The rules take 5 minutes to explain, but there's plenty of depth for the young and the old to enjoy. The whole experience lasts around 45 minutes. In the game, players take the role of a chosen animal and scavenge the forest for a variety of items to construct their den, their hearth. The resources in the forest are limited, and their value changes over time. At the end of the game, the winning animal is the one who collects the most valuable items and arranges them in their den in the most efficient way. On your turn, you move up to 3 spaces and pick up a single item you encounter in the final space. What's special about your forest findings is that they are two-sided, and when you pick them up, you secretly peek at their value of 1, 2, 3 on the other side. You're the only one who knows your token's values until the end of the game. Just like any good forest, Hearthland is full of mystery. From turn to turn, as players collect more items, the load gets heavier and the movement gets harder. The open slots on your animal board indicate how many items you have picked up and how far you can travel. Once you pick up your third item, you may not move until you unload your items into your den board. In order to do so, move all your item tokens to your personal den board in any order. Little by little, you get to arrange your tiny, cozy home, keeping in mind that the layout of your den can score you valuable points. You get points as soon as you complete a row or a column containing either the same type of items or that are all different. Same type of items are more valuable and score 1 point for every token, while all different items score only 1 point for the whole row or column, irrespective of how long it is. At the end of the game, you also get extra points for the 2 bonus spots in the middle of the board that score according to your secret token value. Ultimately, it's up to you to plan out your den according to what you collect from the forest, before others do. Every time you move your items to your den board, you get a chance to place a den token on your current space. Throughout the game, you may build up to 4 dens, each one scoring more and more points, 2 through 5. However, for each den to be constructed, it requires specific types of items to be collected, so you need to plan what you pick up and in what order. The placement of your den tokens around the forest is important because you may freely move between them. Additionally, there are dedicated den spaces on the board that grant you an extra bonus point if you manage to build there. Scoring for your den is not the only way to gain points, though. At the beginning of the game, there are 5 scoring tiles laid out in a random order, 1 for each type of a physical item: leaves, sticks, rocks, acorns, and mushrooms. From left to right, the order of those tiles determines their value at the end of the game. However, not everybody gets to score for every item type. The player who has collected the most tokens of each type scores the most points. The number of tokens is limited, though, and that's where the hidden value of each token makes a big difference. All ties in the number of tokens between players are resolved by their total value. This hidden information always keeps the game in suspense until the very last. Life in the forest wouldn't be nearly as exciting without the weather affecting its inhabitants. In Hearthland, sun, wind, and rain are one-sided and don't have corresponding tiles, but each one does play a unique role in the game. Sun tokens illuminate your den and score 1 point for every adjacent token. Rain works as a wild token type that can help you complete rows and columns in your den. Wind is the trickiest of them all. It lets you change the value of scoring tiles in your favor. Just remember that all scoring tiles shift their position when the wind blows. The game ends when one of the players fills their last den spot with a token. In that case, all other players get 1 final turn. Since both your den tokens and the den layout score throughout the game, the end of game scoring is pretty simple, but very eventful. The final points come from the scoring tiles according to your collected tokens and their hidden values. Once you get familiar with Hearthland, there's extra content you may add to the core gameplay to make it even more interesting. There are 12 special objectives. Before every game, you randomly choose 4 and make them available to all players. Whoever meets the requirements first gets to keep the card and score the extra points. Lastly, just like in the real Animal Kingdom, each animal in Hearthland has its own unique abilities. Mice are small and nimble, bears dominating and ferocious, squirrels sneaky and always hungry. But that's forest knowledge for you to discover on your own. I'm a dad of 3 kids under 10, and I designed Hearthland with other parents and their children in mind. I love how board games bring loved ones into a physical space to spend time with each other. Hearthland's theme is meant to be warm and welcoming to help everyone enjoy the experience. But just like every family is different, so this game can also be played competitively or cooperatively. The co-op mode of Hearthland uses most of the core mechanics, but the twist is that all players work together against time. That is the winter coming. At the beginning of the game, each player receives 2 objectives and chooses one to attempt to complete. Players take their turns as usual, but round after round, the frost scores increasingly more points and one by one consumes tokens in the forest. It's up to the players to decide how long to keep playing, but the more they let the winter settle in, the more points it will score. At the end of the game, all players' points combine and the scoring tiles get awarded against the tokens consumed by the winter. Will the animals have enough time to beat the oncoming chill? That's for you and your fellow critters to determine. Whichever way you play Hearthland, I hope you enjoy with your family and friends. Thanks for watching. Hi, my name is Piotr Kwiatkowski.